Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I am going to share one more job interview for you guys. This is for the data analytics position, and the project work and the SQL knowledge has been evaluated up to some extent. Although this is not very high end interview, but definitely this will help you to prepare your own data analytics interview. So if any answer is been answered wrong in this video, so try to correct answer into the comment box. I am also one of you, so I am not expert, so do not consider the all answer that I am going to answer in this video is accurate. And second thing is, if you are preparing for your interview, then consider watching my entire playlist. I had posted around 12 videos for the live interviews, so definitely these interviews are somewhere help you to prepare for your own interview. So I'm going to share this video, and if you like this video, hit a thumbs up button and consider subscribing my channel.
Hi, Jay. This is Srinivas. Good afternoon.
Hey, hi, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Akshay.
Okay, sure.
How are you, Akshay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm also good. Okay, so is it good time to start the interview?
Yeah, yes. We can start.
Okay, can you tell me about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Akshay. I have completed my engineering in electronics and telecommunications stream in 2015, and I have overall 5 years of experience. So the initial 1.5 year I worked in the telecom and networking domain, and since last 3.5 year I'm working in data in the sensor technology as a data analyst. So mostly I work with the sales team and the finance team to help them with the data what they are looking for. And basically they run the enterprise agreement, like they sell the devices and licenses to their end customer. And if in case they face any discrepancy or issue with reference to the customer historical purchase, so they come with us. So I write a SQL query to retrieve the relevant data and communicate with different stakeholders to validate the data and get the confirmation. And in some scenario they have any dispute or exception on existing purchase, then I work with the finance team to get relevant approval, so that I can make a manual changes into the ad hoc report, where the customer can see the actual purchase and total net price, total discount, and total credit amount what they are getting into their account. So this is one of the thing I do. And on the top of it, like I also prepare the ad hoc report in Tableau, where the customer can see the statistics of their total licenses category wise, and the utilization of the licenses, and the total term remaining to for expiry of that licenses. So something that like that I prepare in Tableau dashboard and share with the sales team, so that they can easily communicate with the in customer and they can settle the deal, like something like that.
These are your day-to-day activities.
Yeah, it is a day to day.
Can you tell me about your project flow? What kind of project it is? Can you?
Yeah, actually it is the enterprise agreement. It is,
Uh-huh.
so it is term based project where the sales team sells the orders to their end customer, and at the end of each term they renew the agreement with the end customer.
Uh-huh.
Let's say if the customer is totally new, so they
Uh-huh.
offer some the very best offers to the customer, and they sell the products to the customer. And at the time of renovation of the existing order, the customer
Uh-huh.
come up with some additional requirement based on historical purchase. Let's say if the customer was startup and he had requirement of 100 devices, but in the next quarter they expand their business and they say we need 150 this time. So like that we offer something good to them. And based on the at the end of term, the customer expects some sort of the credit, because they already had purchased some licenses and devices in their account. So at the time of renewing that account, that licenses, they expect some sort of credit and purchase adjustment. So if the sales team have any issue or the data discrepancy in customer data, so for validation purpose they raise a query with us, like we have some customers, this is the web order id and this is the customer id we have. So just give us the relevant data what for this customer for historical purchase, so that we can make a manual purchase adjustment into the new agreement. And in some scenarios customer expects some some more discount apart from the business rules. So this
Uh-huh.
falls into the exception and dispute kind of things, where I work with the finance team for that particular customer. The customer is showing the very good business in upcoming quarters, then finance team also gives some sort of waiver and additional discount to the new agreement what the customer is going to sign. So the day-to-day part of my life is like I communicate with the different stakeholders for the understanding the requirement and to explaining the business logic, and to share the relevant data with the stakeholders and sales team. And somehow I also work with I directly worked with the end customer also in some
Uh-huh.
time if they are not pretty sure about what is the business logic and the technicality behind this historical purchase and all that thing. To explain them better, then sometime I directly connect with them.
Okay, okay. So, as in data analyst, so out of five, how much rate yourself?
I would rate myself like 8 out of 10 because I'm good to writing SQL queries to retrieve the relevant data and to develop the Tableau dashboards also. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as the programming part, like I'm learning the Python in R to know for next
Okay.
new to improve myself in this particular field.
Okay. For SQL,
Sorry,
how much rate yourself for out of five?
out of 5, I'd rate like 4
Okay. Quality assurance.
because the majority of my task is depends on SQL only because to writing the complex SQL queries, subqueries. It is part of my day to day life. So that's why. And but I'm not very good in developing some sort of tool in SQL. So there is a lot of gray
Okay.
area in SQL, like the how to create and use the store procedures and
Yeah.
improve the query performance. So that kind of thing I have not worked at, but that's why I say.
Oh, okay. So you have not, written any stored procedures so far.
I know the basic understanding, but my project
Okay.
is not covering that part. Like, so
Okay. 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 Fine. So, for data profiling, how much rate yourself for out of?
the data profiling is more likely to validation of data and maintain the data quality, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, 4 would be appropriate one because mostly before sharing any data, I do validation 2 or 3 times from my end, and also I confirm again the same thing with the stakeholder and finance team. So this is one of the essential part to maintain the performance and improve the quality. So
Okay. Fine. So, what is the difference between data mining and data profiling?
data mining is something to filtering the data, like if I have some sort of the unstructured data or unrelevant data, so as per the business model I need to filter out relevant thing from that data. So I think that would fall under the data mining. And the data profiling is like to giving good framework to data, like to create appropriate report out of the relevant data and showcase that figures to the upper management that may come under to data profiling. Am I
Okay.
audible?
So, yeah. Have you worked on data cleansing?
Not specifically, but I have done machine learning course on online, so I know like how to remove the null values or work with the duplicates value or to replace or to manipulate the data. But my current project, I mostly get the structured data from database. So I don't have live experience like, but as a part of learning, I have played around with the data processing part.
Okay. So, can you explain me about, a data analysis process?
So data analysis process is, as per my experience, it is something to get a relevant data.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, to understand the logic or understand the requirement of the stakeholders, and based on that, retrieve the relevant data from the database. And after retrieving the data, it is not about retrieving it directly share. I have to first understand what is the retrieved data, and is it the same data what they are looking for, or is something I have to again manipulate in some other form. Okay, so that is the first step. Second one is like to validate the data as per the business logic. There is some rules that I have to apply on the retrieved data to again filter out the data, and after that, to get some good insight, I have to prepare the ad hoc reports for that particular data set, so that upper management can understand what is the different attributes or categories falls under this data, and what is the statistical figures of that. So I think this is something data analysis is covering, just giving the good insights of the data, like giving the some knowledgeable things out of that data and showcase into the simple format to the upper management.
So what is imputation?
Sorry,
Imputation.
I didn't get
So what is the imputation?
imputation.
Yeah.
um Not sure at the moment. I think it's a statistical term, like.
Okay. You fine. So let's want. So how do you do time series analysis?
Time series analysis is basically you need a data and a timeline where I can observe the observe the uh, pattern of data throughout the time, and I have not worked mostly on that part, but it is hard to answer this, but it is something that that observation or the performance or the how can I rate, like the variation of the data throughout the time stack, like how to do that, like something like that it's covering.
Can you give me any example for time series?
The best example is like to fix or to see the overall sales of the particular product throughout the time or throughout the quarter, like what was in last quarter month wise, and what will be the sales of that particular product in next quarter based on certain prediction. So in that kind of analysis we need time series modeling
Okay, what analysis can be done on time series data?
to predict the future parameters,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and to understand the historical pattern or behavior
Uh-huh.
of that particular data, and let's say we make changes in some input, like on independent or dependent variable, like in terms of if it is sales, then if we are changing a discount part or the total pricing of that product, then how that behavior, the historical behavior may change in future or upcoming quarters. So for that particular analysis, the time series data modeling is being performed. But to be honest, this is just part of my learning, but in my live project I have not done this. That's why I am not pretty sure about how to answer this question accurately. I'm audible?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
actually. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, what is the first step? In time series analysis.
The first step is to get relevant data into the workplace, like let's say first we need to understand like what for what particular parameter in our dataset we need to plot that time series model, and it, after that the dates parameter, like for what particular period we need that model, and based on that we can, these two are essential input, and based on that we can plot it, and later on we can include the other attributes like the correlation wise, if the let's take an example, uh sales figure and the pricing figure. Okay, so if I want to see the time series plot of particular product, the sales figure of that particular product, then I can use the sales price, sales, and timeline for that particular product. And if I want to observe how it is changing when pricing of actual cost of product is varying, then I can use the list price of that particular product to observe the behavior of that particular product, how it is behaving in past and how it may give result in future if we make certain changes with the cost of that product. So I think these kind of parameters are important.
Okay. So, what should be done with suspected or missing data? I mean, what analysts, I mean, what data analysts do with missing or suspected data?
To missing to Let's say if I have some sort of missing data in my data set, then logically I will first reach out to the stakeholders, like to understand their requirement, if they are looking for certain missing data or not, and if some data is missing, then what are their expectation on that particular missing data, whether this data is valid or not. Based on that, I will either remove that data completely from the report, or I will replace that data with some other figure based on the finance team suggestion or no, as per the business model. And like that I can make further changes into the ad hoc report. Or if that missing data is valid one, and then I will follow some business rules where I can predict or I can calculate what would be the approximate amount or tentative amount for that particular attribute on that particular record. And later on I can work with IT team to update that records into the server itself, so that next time whenever I write the same query, then missing data will not occur again and again.
Okay, then what you will do with suspected data?
Sorry,
Suspected data.
the subtracted data.
Suspected means, I mean, unwanted, or I mean,
Yeah,
the data is
so
not.
I will completely remove that data if it is not fitting into the business logic, or if business logic allowing me to fix that data with some other value or to replace with something else, then I will follow that step to make necessary changes.
I mean, directly will you delete the suspected data, or will you
No,
validate,
yeah,
or I
first
mean, will you take
I
business
will
confirmation?
exactly. So first of all, I will validate that data whether this is the valid data or not. Or if it is a valid data, then I will follow business model. Like if I found any valid data with some sort of missing values, then I will work with respective IT team to fix that missing value. Or based on business logic, if that particular lines are not part of upcoming quarter or let's say upcoming updates, then I will remove that data and update it to the relevant place where it is necessary to be updated. So in nutshell, it is depends on the logic and the requirement.
Okay, okay. So, can you mention few problems that, I mean, the data analyst use generally encounter, I mean, while performing the data analysis?
Yeah, so basically there are some things that some scenarios that I gone through. The very first thing, as I said, like the missing data itself, where I follow some business logic and rules to address that missing values. Second one is like let's say if business model changed and we get some unrelevant attributes within the data set, which is not at all required to be implemented into the next ad hoc report or for invoicing purpose and all. So for that I did the data mapping, where the old name, like old abbreviation of the product, has been replaced with the new names of the new order. So some some sort of manipulation also I had go done to navigate to address the unrelevant records. And I will first try to validate the data, like the retrieved data is accurate or not. I will refer to stakeholders suggestions and upper management's advice. Based on that I take the necessary actions. And also I will not directly go into like if someone is saying like this particular records are not belongs to this customer, so kindly remove. So if that kind of scenario happen, then I first validate the data whether this is valid or not. Or if it is valid and still the person is saying no, this is not belongs to our, so I work with the different stakeholders and the finance team to get a root cause of that particular record. And if that record is approved in history, like in past, then I make the notes of that particular order and work with IT team to address that particular record and remove that record from the database itself. So I don't work on assumption in nutshell. Like I first validate the things twice or maybe 3 or 4 times, and if it is confirmed, then only I take the necessary action what needs to be done on it. Because once the things are changed in the server, then it may impact the overall business of that particular customer.
Okay, let me ask you a few questions on SQL.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have knowledge on joins, right?
Yeah.
So, how does a full join differ from a cross join?
The full joint differ from cross joint is something like one to many connection. Let's say I have two tables. Table A have the, let's say, three rows, and table B have the three rows. Then if I apply the cross join, it will give me a total 3 into 3 9 records, because it will be one to many connection. And the full outer join, we need I need a primary key to, to check with what are the unique or common attributes between these two table, and the outer join will be performed based on that only. So there is a one additional thing in outer join, like if the records are not matching, it will return the null values in output. So eventually it will give the same records, but let's say if the records are not matching in outer join, then it will give the null value.
I'm pinging you in one query.
Mm-hmm.
Go through the query.
Just a second, I copy that into the notepad so it will, you can see it properly.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Just a second. I copied that query and pasting into the notepad. Yeah.
Okay. So, what is the order? In which SQL execute the classes? Can you tell me the order?
Sorry, your voice is
Uh, yeah, in which order the SQL execute the clauses?
in which order? Like
Yeah.
first select, then from,
Mm,
then
mm,
group by.
mm.
It is depends on, like, select from, where, group by, order by, and selects from having, group by. If I am using any aggregation function, then I will use having instead of where, and then order by. So in this order it will execute the query. And if I'm
Are you
using,
sure? No, no, no. In this query. So, if we
okay,
execute
in
this
this query,
query,
okay, I thought
okay.
in
So,
general.
yeah, yeah. In what is the order in which SQL executes the clauses?
So select column aggregate function column expression from table, inner join some table on a table column equal to some table column, where condition, group by column having some condition, order by column. Okay, so first of all this query will do the join, and then it will apply some having condition, and then order by, and after that it will go to the main query, where the attributes are called like column and aggregate function of that. So in outer join, like the main query output will return in last. So join will be the first, then the condition of that join, and then it will jump to the main query.
No, that's not the correct.
From table.
First, it will retrieve the data from the tables, right?
Yeah.
So, first from and inner join will run.
Yeah.
Then it will process. So, processing where, right?
Yeah.
After that, it combines the information. So, group by, and then it will apply the filters, the
Having.
gathered data having. Then, so finally, with columns and expression to show. Then it will provide.
Then main
Then,
query will be executed.
then order by, yeah, then order by and limit.
Yeah. Then order by limit.
Yeah, that is the order.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what are the tools useful for data analysis?
As far as I use the Toad tool, it is an interface, the main application for the connecting with the database, and Tableau tool I used, like Tableau desktop version 2020.3 I used. And there are some other tools that like business to run the business, they have their own tools like web based tools to upload and remove some sort of data from their portal.
Or I mean, so these are the tools which you have worked, but do you know? I mean, what are the tools generally required for data analysis?
Yeah, the first tool is like to cover SQL part, Toad or Oracle database. So that tool is required. Second one, if it's covering the reporting part and require Tableau or Power BI or any data visualization tool, if it is a part of project, then it is required. After that, if as part of data processing, the Python tool like the Python or RStudio or the Jupyter is also required. And apart from that, I don't, depends on requirement, but as far as I my projects
Yeah, yeah,
cover.
depends on the requirement. But I mean, so which tool we have to choose based on the requirement? We should be in a position to decide which tool is suitable for this, right?
Yeah,
As a data analyst. Yeah, that is the reason I was asking. Generally, I mean, what are the tools do you know, and what are the tools are required?
so generally SQL database, like any
Okay.
interface application, then any visualization tool, then
Okay. Fine. So, what is pivot table?
sorry.
Pivot table.
Yeah, pivot table is something we can summarize the and showcase that data in summarized format. Like I have the very huge data of sales, profit, and total growth percentage and all that. If I want to summarize the data into small table like total sum of sale bi-weekly or month wise, or total profit or product, or I want to show the product category wise, so in that scenarios I can use pivot table to just give an overview of that particular
Okay.
data set.
Okay.
Mostly I
Fine.
used in Excel.
So, let's take a scenario based question I am asking. So, let's take you have 10 bags of marbles with 10 marbles in each bag.
Mhm.
Okay, and all but one bag has marbles which weight 10 grams each. Okay, so the expectations, I mean, the exceptions marbles weigh 11 grams each. So, how would you determine which bag has 11-gram marbles using a scale only once?
Depends on the weight actually. The If I will first calculate the mean, and if the second half of that set is giving the more weight, then I will again eliminate the first mean and I will go to the second part, second subset of that data set, and I will again apply the mean. Here I can check the total weight, and based on that I will figure out the exact bag. And I think that would be the best way to do it.
Okay. So, which SQL statement is used to update data in database?
To update the data,
Yes, in database.
it depends on requirement. Let's say if I want to update a new attributes itself, then I can use the update table or alter and update, and I can use the, yeah, these two things I can use mostly. But I have not used it particularly because it is not part of my current no work. If I have to update anything, I work with the IT team. But to update the data into the database, it's like update, we can use update command and the alter command. If to make the changes I can use alter, and to add some more records I can use the update and insert into
Okay.
also.
So, which SQL keywords is used to retrieve only unique values?
Pivot, uh,
Pivot. Unique values to retrieve unique values.
distinct can be used. I use distinct keyword.
Okay. Okay. So, can you write a SQL query to fetch the names of workers who earn the highest salary?
Yeah, uh,
Yeah.
Can you repeat the statement so I can quickly
Yeah,
take?
yeah. SQL query to fetch the names of workers who earn the highest salary.
Highest salary. Okay.
Yeah, I have enabled code editor.
Okay. Highest salary, like highest into that data set itself, like what is the highest salary
Yes,
for?
yes.
Okay. This query will work. Can I explain this query or?
It's fine. I can understand it. Let me select name from Tableau. Salary equals to maximum salary from. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine, Akshay. So
Okay.
that's all from my side, and HR will get back to you on the feedback.
Sure, definitely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day ahead.
Bye.